So, Petronella, Kerry's right, isn't she? We've actually seen the phoniness and the fakery throughout this week.
Yes, I think it is phony and fake, but I have to say that it's also a symptom of our culture, because I think we're living through a great convulsion of stupidity. And ITV is one of the great examples. I mean, it's so dumbed down to the extent that you have people who are totally unqualified interviewing the Prime Minister, where once you would have had people like Robin Day. So I'm not at all surprised it's fake and it's phony, and it is. It's ghastly. It is toxic. I've had a run-in with Holly Willoughby.
What happened? Spill the tea.
Well, I wrote something humorous about her, and it turned out she had no sense of humour at all. And
is it true, Petronella? Is it true that you described Holly as the fakest and falsest person you've met in your entire life?
Yeah, and that's saying something. I've met a lot of fakes, but she's certainly the fakest person I met in TV. Definitely.
Benjamin Butterworth, haven't we just seen how fake and phony this show is? Because for years we brought into this idea that it was the This Morning family. Actually, what we've now learned is this is a more dysfunctional bunch than the cast of Shameless.
Look, I think this whole debate is completely preposterous. You know, television is a form of entertainment. It's not meant to be completely real. You know, lots of television is smoke and mirrors. If you go to the West End, for example, you know that people are acting. They're putting on a performance.
Yeah, but that's a drama.
I don't think that's true.
But this is a form of entertainment, just like going to the theatre, right?
It's
and
not.
The truth is that when they behave in the way they do, it's to entertain people. And millions of people over the last 21 years in Philip Schofield's case have thoroughly enjoyed This Morning. They've done some great examples of journalism. Some of their human interest work is the best on television, and that's why it's dominated daytime TV for 2 decades. And so I think this idea of people calling it fake and phony, a lot of those people are jealous of Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby because they beat them at National Television Awards.
Here to be jealous.
Please, can I say something? Because
misled his wife for 27.
I want to give an example of the fakeness and phoniness, because something terrible happened to a friend of mine and it led to his early death. This is when Schofield got out a list of alleged paedophiles in the Tory party, and it was completely unresearched, and he sprung it on David Cameron, and it was the most unprofessional
piece. Just read it from the internet.
Exactly, and it turned out to be complete lies. But he managed to angle it so the names were seen on TV. One of the names is the name of a very old friend of mine. And as a result of this, he was in poor health, but he died earlier than he should have done, because of the stress and the angst caused by that. His daughter was pregnant, nearly had a miscarriage. I think these people are awful. They have no sense of responsibility. They have far too much power, and they're not good journalists. And I don't think television is all about entertainment, because it's there to inform as well.
I mean, Benjamin...
And they set themselves up as journalists.
Benjamin, your defence that, it's just like going to watch a play in the West End is a bit ridiculous, because we're meant to believe that Holly and Philip are actually genuine friends. They're not put across as actors. They're presenters who are meant to be real.
I mean, look, I'd say 2 things there. You know, for most people, they behave in a slightly different way when they're at work to how they might do with their mates on a Friday night.
Not me.
It's called being professional.
You know me.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, actually, I can confirm, Dan, you're just as much of a nightmare on a Friday night as you are in the GB News studio. That's true.
Absolutely.
But, you know, take another ITV star, for example, one that I think just about everybody liked, Lorraine Kelly. She won a court case to prove that she puts on an act to be Lorraine on ITV, not the person at home. That was a really important thing that saved her a great deal of money in tax. Now,
but you're just adding to Petronella's argument about it being fake. I thought you were trying to say that they're not fake.
Entertainment. And the truth is, can I just say this? I think there's a real snobbery in what Petronella and you are saying. The idea that they don't do good journalism, the idea that it's dumbed down in quotes. Actually, this is about telling stories, whether they're big political stories or human interest stories, in a way that people can understand.
Well, you've just called Petronella a snob.
The Sun would get that.
Well, I do get that, but you've just called Petronella a snob, so let her respond.
No, I think that's grossly unfair. I mean, you have to agree that we have had a lot of better presenters in the past, like Robin Day, like Brian Walden, like the Dimblebys, like Joan Bakewell. I just think
this... Richard Madeley's a good journalist, so is Judy.
There are good journalists, but I don't think decrying that something is being dumbed down makes you a snob. And if it does, then we need more snobs, frankly.
Benjamin, is it true that you feel there's been a bit of a witch hunt against Philip Schofield? You actually feel sorry for the guy?
I do actually, yeah. And clearly there are things in this process that aren't right, like the fact that the allegations of ITV covering up elements of this may well be true. But when it comes to Philip Schofield, look, there is no actual evidence that he quote-unquote groomed, which was one of the things that Kerry Katona referenced and something you'll see on social media a lot. They had a consensual relationship when he was of an appropriate legal age. And the truth is that I think it is laced with homophobia, the attacks on Philip Schofield. The idea that an older man can have a relationship with a younger man who is...
Wait, can I say something at this point?
Petronella, just before you do, I think I've got to call that out because it's blatantly ridiculous. You're not telling me if a 61-year-old female presenter, I don't know, let's say who's someone around that age, Fiona Bruce, for example, were to pluck out of thin air a 15-year-old lad on work experience, spend lots of BBC money making a show reel, then get him a job a couple of years later, then end up in a sexual relationship with him. You don't think that would be a scandal? Come on. It's so pathetic, Benjamin. And look, you know I love you, but it's so pathetic that you always run to homophobia every single time.
I'm sorry, this is reminiscent of the nasty attacks that happened to Michael Barrymore, another person that committed no crime and yet had their career ruined.
Petronella, final word to you.
If you'll give me a final word. No, it's got nothing to do with homophobia because I don't care how many affairs Philip Schofield had, but the thing is he was in loco parentis, in effect, in this case. There may be more to come out, but at best it was seedy and inappropriate, I think. OK.
Petronella, Wyatt, Benjamin, Butterworth, thank you both so much. But who do you agree with on this? Is Kerry Katona right that This Morning is now phony, fake and false? Thorpe writes, it's incredibly false, almost to the point of being unwatchable, but the happy and jolly facade has become infuriating now that we know the scandals and cover-ups going on behind the scenes. Paddy writes, yes, I fully agree, but they can't keep hiding behind the smiles. The public have become wise to them. And from Amanda, my late mum would turn off when it was fake Holly and Phil. She loved Eamon and Ruth. I have been hearing a lot of that this week, I have to be honest with you. Your verdict is now in. 85% of you agree with Kerry Katona that This Morning is now phony, fake and false. Just 15% of you think it's great.